Hello all and welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. I hope you guys are having a decent week. I don't know where you guys might reside, but in the Northern Virginia area, it's been raining and raining and raining, and it feels like I'm in Seattle, except the people are still uptight and are not laid back. It's probably because the people in Seattle get to smoke weed legally, and people in Virginia don't. But anyways, not advocating for anything, I'm just saying there's a difference. Anyways, I took a class over the weekend, a 3-day class called by a company called RE Mentor. It's a great class. I'm trying to get into the real estate investment game, and the first rule of thumb when you try to get into any specific industry, you got to surround yourself with the major players of that specific industry, and get knowledge from them, and converse with them, network with them, and so that you can take the best foot forward and start to implement your ideas and see what the do's and don'ts. And if you do fail, what are the best ways for you to not fail in those specific areas when you're trying to implement your future plans. But today's discussion will talk about evolving or you disappear. It's one of my favorite quotes from Tupac Shakur, rapper that was killed back in 1996. One of my favorite rappers. He said that we grow, we all grow. Either you evolve or you disappear. And it's very, very deep, those words that he said, because it has to do with everything in everyday life. Great example, if you could speak of specific cities like Baltimore, Maryland, Detroit, Michigan, Wichita, Kansas, etc., and so forth, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, excuse me. Those are places that have been hit hard financially. Put all the political nonsense to the side, financially and economically, because they were still depending on industries that have become null and void and that have been shifted to other countries because the labor is much cheaper. And there's still a lot of the people there are still living in yesterday, and the world is an evolving beast. Life is always an evolving beast. You even see other countries around the world that, because they have not evolved from their ways of thinking, that they have not been able to advance in specific technologies, in specific markets, etc., and so forth. You're still living back here in the time of the 615 to 1600s. It makes it that much harder for you to survive. And not to downplay any other culture or any other country, because certain aspects of their way of survival is actually much more beneficial. And the one thing that they have, unlike the quote unquote westernized civilizations have, is they have more of a sense of togetherness, because they have to band together in order for their town, village, or etc., and so forth to survive. But in this particular subject, I'm talking about people within the westernized world and all that good stuff. Because if you're living like you're in 1998, we're in 2018, 2008, if you're acting like you're living during that time period as well, you're missing the boat on life. It's like, okay, if you were in your early 20s, you're going to the club on a regular basis. Okay, that's good for that time period of your life. But 10 years pass and you're still doing that, and you don't have anything else really happening in your life. It says a lot. It speaks volumes, and it's kind of like, okay, well, are you at least profiting off of this? Are you a club promoter? Are you promoting shows, things of that nature? Have you advanced to the next level in order for you to? Because a lot of people in that industry make a lot of great money. They meet a lot of great contacts, and they're able to advance themselves to the next level in life. But a lot of times you see people still doing the same old thing, and they're still wondering why they're not getting anywhere in life, and it's because you're not trying to evolve. It's a crazy thing. Pick up a book, get on YouTube, watch a couple of videos, because the millennial generation, that's what majority of us do. We don't read as much, but we do listen to videos for the most part, because we have the great advanced technology in order for us to do that. So it's just evolving from people, who you might have grew up with, you were in the military with, or you were in college with. You've probably passed that person mentally, physically, when it comes to life. And it's okay, you guys were tight back then. There's nothing wrong with being tight back then, and you can still be cool with people, but it doesn't mean you have to invest so much time in people that are not on your level or trying to get to your level, or just trying to help elevate you so you can get to another level. Because that's what it is. Life is nothing but a game, and it's nothing but getting to the next level. If all the video gamers out there, it's all about getting to the next level. You don't want to stay on the same level, because eventually the game is going to get boring and you're going to move on to something else. But the only difference is with life is you can't do that. So you have to always try to push for the next level. And I'm not just talking about money. I know usually majority of the topics I get into is about money, but I'm just talking about security. I'm talking about goals on any level. I'm talking about just reaching new heights in life and things of that nature. It's not always about the money. I always say money is a tool in order for you to have two things. One, security. Make it three things. One, security. Two, you have to have it in order for you to survive. And three, if it used wisely, you can have it create a life that you do not have to take a vacation from, because every day you wake up, you feel like your life is a vacation, not because you don't have to work, but because you have enough money in order for you to pursue the kind of work and avenues that you want to do, instead of having to just punch a clock 40 hours a week, dealing with the boss and coworkers or people you don't want to really associate yourself with. But that's another discussion for another day. And that's just how I look at it when it comes to things in life. It's like at the age of 23, when you turn 33, you should be looking at the world in a different perspective. And if you're not, and you're still doing the same things all the time when you were 23 years old, then it's in your best interest. And if you have a family, it's definitely in their best interest for you to reevaluate your priorities. Because look, there's no question about one thing: especially growing in multiple ways that's going to advance yourself, is one of the hardest things out there. We all know that. There's no doubt about that. I would never say that it's not. But I would say that if you continuously practice and continuously pursue, then it might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but it will get to the point where you will evolve into something better in order for you to take yourself to the next level. That's either having some sort of a pension. Just start small. Just get a regular 401k. You can use a Stash app. They're not paying me, by the way, but you can use a Stash app. Contribute $40 a month, $5 a week. You spend more on that on gas. I don't care what state you live in nowadays. If you have a car, you spend more than $40 on gas within a month's time period. Trust me, unless you just don't go anywhere and you walk everywhere. That's another story. But start hanging out with other people that you might have a goal that you want to be an actress, and start hanging out with other actors and actresses. You might have a goal that you want to own your own car maintenance repair company, etc., and so forth. You might work at Jiffy Lube, but you're like, oh man, I'm actually pretty decent at cars. Maybe I should get better and get my actual maintenance mechanic license. And then, I don't want to work for somebody else. Maybe why don't I befriend people who actually own their own shops, so I can just figure out how they did it, and they can save me a lot of time and especially a lot of money in order for me to advance to the next level. Because I look at life like certain plants. They die every day. Hence the word certain. They die every day from lack of water, lack of sunlight, and that's because they're not being fed the stuff that they need in order for them to survive. And the same goes for your brain. Garbage in, garbage out. So if you're constantly feeding your brain garbage, then that's all your brain is going to mentally produce. It's like one of the best ways that I've evolved myself is not just by engaging with people that are in different specific industries and whatnot, but I'm constantly reading on a regular basis different books, whether it's about the intelligence community, whether it's about business, whether it's about somebody's life story. I'm reading Marcus Garvey. I'm reading about some of the sharks from Shark Tanks, how they got into business, and how they're speaking about other people's stories, whose companies they bought into. And the thing I love about those books is they don't have to buy into these companies. They do it because they're passionate about it. They've already made enough money in their life to live, and their generations and generations of kids to live off of. But they're passionate about what they do. So every day when they get up, they don't feel like they're working. They just feel like they're chasing their passion. You don't want to wake up, 40 years old with the brain of an 18-year-old. And I see it a lot. Man, do I see it a lot. I mean, I could say, what was it, the other day, I won't mention any names, particular individual And I love these people. We have a lot of them in the DMV. I don't know if you have them or you reside at, nothing wrong with education. I'm for education. I have an education, all that good stuff, but it doesn't make you the smartest person in the room because it's 2018. Having a degree is just not as important as it used to be 30 years ago. I mean, some of the richest people in the country and the world didn't finish college. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. But anyways, I digress. So anyways, this person was talking about, they have two master's degrees, but when I hear them talk, it doesn't even seem like they even read the local news or even watch CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or wherever it tickles your fancy. This particular individual, single mother, she's working hard to take care of her kids, pregnant again with another, baby daddy, and she wonders why certain specific situations don't work out in her favor. It's like, you get food once, shame on me, food once. I mean, shame on you, food twice, shame on me, food third time. You know how the story goes. But anyways, the reason why I bring up this person, because she just kind of blew me. And please comment if you've ever seen yourself in this situation. I'm sure you have. You're having a specific conversation with somebody, and I'm trying to start a business. So I'm talking to somebody else who actually owns their own business. So I'm trying to get some insight on what's the best way to start my own business, the A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, et cetera, and so forth, And this person, this third party that I was mentioning earlier that's involved in the conversation, all she's talking about is stupid ghetto ratchet nonsense that has nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. Therefore, my attention is being altered, and I'm trying to switch the subject matter back to, hey, this is the first step I've taken to start my business, and I'm working with a specific mentor after this class I took. I think it's going to work. And then it's all the ghetto ratchetness is always brought back into the equation to the point where we're both looking at her like, are you going to contribute to the subject matter at hand, or could you please just walk away? Because you might be 31 years old, but you sound like you're 21 years old half the time, and for somebody that continuously has to brag and boast, you sound like you have the mentality of a 16-year-old. That's all I'm saying. And it's just like, I don't like to consider myself to be bougie and to be snooty, but if I'm trying to climb up and elevate to another level, I want to be around specific people who are trying to do the same thing, or the people that are already there, so I can learn from them. And hey, you never know, they might learn something from me. We can collaborate, we can motivate, and we can elevate each other to a higher level, But a lot of people love keeping their head to the ground. And that's fine and dandy. It's on you at the end of the day because it's your life. I don't knock what anybody else wants to do. Just don't try to bring me down when I'm trying to go up. Because everybody that I know, I want them to go up. I want us to come up together. I throw this disclaimer out there. There's nice real estate properties out there in the Midwest. $25,000, $30,000. You want to put half on the money. Let's go buy a property together. Let's do some business, But that's another story, another video for another day. But I will keep throwing that disclaimer out there till I get another investor. But, at the end of the day, it's just like the conversation ended when she was telling us about her drunken stories back when she was in her early 20s. Now, nobody's a saint over here, but I was actually getting a good contact information from my coworker who I need to contact because this person lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm like, yeah, I need to talk to him because he actually works at a property management company. But she wanted to bring up these old drunken ratchet stories. And I'm just like, you need to evolve. Or if you're not going to evolve mentally, could you evolve yourself physically from my atmosphere? Because I'm really not feeling it right now. But hey, that's just me. Moral of the story is, I know I changed the subject matter up, but when you're dealing with somebody that acts like they're fresh out of high school and you're in your late 20s on up, the old saying goes is you are who the people you hang out with, period. So if you're hanging out with a bunch of people that are losers and that are happy to be losers, and you're trying to elevate yourself to another level, you got to reevaluate your priorities. You got to reevaluate your circle. They always say if you're the smartest one in your circle, you got to get yourself another circle. And there's no reason to be intimidated by people. There's nothing wrong with being wrong in life. You know, that's what we have Google for in life. Oh, okay, I was wrong about that, or I was misinformed. Let me check it out. Let me do some more research on it. Oh, okay, awesome. You know, I always go by the saying of a specific individual that I used to work with. He would say, if you go the whole day without learning at least one thing new, then in a sense, you have failed for the day in a mental capacity. So it's something to think about. You know, the people you hang out with the most is the ones you become. So if you're trying to be something more than you are today, tomorrow you need to start reevaluating your circle and priorities. So food for thought, nutrition for the whole brain. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to do this short video to tell you. And if you're pursuing any dreams and ambitions, please put them in the comments. Please give a thumbs up. And thank you for everybody for subscribing to my page. And thank you, Vincent Logan, for just subscribing, trying to grow my channel. And please share the videos to anybody. And I'm a big boy, so if somebody doesn't like it, that's okay. We're all adults here. We can all have a intellectual, mutual discussion, whether we agree or disagree, because that's the best way to learn and elevate yourself when you're around people you don't necessarily agree with, but they just see things from a different perspective, all right? So aim high, not low, and enjoy life and continuously work hard for your goals and aspirations and dreams. And those of you that have kids, when they say you do better, they're going to want to do better. Food for thought, nutrition for the whole brain. Take it easy.